Hi friends, and welcome back to another video. Today we are joining a collaboration with Davine from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool, and we are talking a little bit about how to make busy days run a little bit smoother. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is a collaboration, so after you're done watching my video, hop on down to the playlist that I've linked below and watch a couple other moms that are hopping on to talk about some tips that they use or put into practice to help their days run a little more smoothly. As a homeschool mom of 3, I know how busy days can get, and if you're a homeschool mom as well, you know how busy days can get. And so I just wanted to hop on and share some tips that I use to help our days run a little more smoothly. I'm not an expert in this area, but I just wanted to mention some things that I do that maybe would help someone else that's in a similar family structure or a similar homeschool situation to mine. And again, these are not life-changing or life-altering things. They're not super surprising things, but again, just things that I put into practice that help me on days and weeks that might be a little extra busier than normal. And I wanted to chat about this while we were taking a walk, just because ironically this week is really busy, and I just wanted to be able to get this video in and chat a little bit with you, and I figured you could walk along with us on this beautiful fall morning and just chat about this topic a little bit. So I have 5 top tips for you today, and number 1 on my list is try not to overplan or squeeze too many things in. I put this into practice because I easily get overwhelmed. If there's too much on my plate, that's when I find that I check out and I just kind of scramble and can't make sense of what's going on. And I know that's not a good trait to have. So those are things that I have to work through quite often because life is busy, and with 3 kids and homeschooling and just life in general, life is going to be slightly busy. But I try to make it a point not to overplan or put too much into my schedule, just to kind of help with this a little bit. And also, it's okay to say no. It's hard to say no, and I get that, but it is okay to say no, and you have to say no to some things sometimes. I know for us, we get invited to a lot of birthday parties for our kids' friends because we know a lot of people, and we have a lot of friends at church and at co-op. We have a lot of cousins, and so sometimes you can't do it all for schedule reasons and also for budget reasons. And it's important to make your friends feel special, but it's also okay to say no sometimes, because sometimes you have to. And that's something that I have gotten a little bit better with, even though it's not easy and some people may get upset, but it's also better than just kind of living stressed out all the time, which I don't like to do either. So that's tip number 1, is just don't overplan, don't overbook too much for one day or for one week. Tip number 2 that I have for you is to make it a point on Saturday or Sunday to look ahead at your calendar or your schedule or however you plan. I use a paper calendar that I hang in the kitchen that I can see and that everyone else in the family can see. The kids, I will often find they will be glancing at the calendar to see what's ahead for the week. And that's what I use. Some people use digital. I personally use paper. I'm just kind of old school that way. But as soon as I know something is happening, I will write it on the calendar so that I don't forget it. And so that I know when I go to look usually Sundays is the day that I look ahead at the week. On Sundays, I will sit down, I will look ahead at the week to see what we have planned for the week. Some weeks there's more than others. And again, this isn't like daily homeschool schedules, like as far as schoolwork, But this is like every Thursday I have co-op on, if there's something special on Tuesday, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, things like that. And I always like to prepare my mind on Sunday for that upcoming week, just to know, okay, Tuesday morning someone has a dentist appointment, so that's gonna probably take out the majority of our Tuesday morning, and we're not gonna have time to do school that day. And so for me, mentally preparing for those things is so much easier. So then it doesn't come around to Monday evening and I look at the calendar and I'm like, oh, we have to be up extra early tomorrow to leave for a dentist appointment. I've just kind of already mentally prepared for it. I'll take books or whatever needed with us to work while we're in the waiting area and things like that. So that's tip number 2, is try to make it a point on Saturday or Sunday to look ahead at your week and see what interruptions you may have to your normal daily routine. Tip number 3 that I put into practice quite often is I have my kids pitch in and help whenever they are able to and wherever they are able to. So for instance, Thursday mornings we have co-op and they all take snacks with them to co-op. And so Wednesday evening, I make sure that they have their bags packed and ready to go for co-op for early Thursday morning, because we get up and get ready a little bit earlier than we normally do on Thursday mornings for co-op. So I make sure that they have all of their bags packed up Wednesday night. I make sure that they have snack ready. Sometimes I'll set the snacks out on the table for them, and then when Thursday morning rolls around, I'll make sure that they put their snacks in their bags and they are ready to go when it is time to leave. If I'm running a few minutes behind trying to get myself ready and out the door, then I will ask Easton to start to load the car for me, help his sisters get their bags in the car, things like that. And then that's just one example. So other things that they may be able to help with is meal prep. Like if we're running close on time to lunch and I need Easton's help getting lunch ready, or Zoe, I will ask them to go out and get that started while I finish up a lesson with someone else. Those are just little examples, but I know that I oftentimes do need their help, and so I will ask them to help because I do truly need their help. And so that helps me knowing I can depend on them to get things done. And again, not perfectly, but Easton quite often will help me get things done, and things can just run much more smoother if they do help. And I explain that to them quite often. Like, if you guys want to be able to do this thing later, then I need you to cooperate, and I need you to listen now, and I need you to help me. So that's tip number 3, is have your older kids help out, and your youngers, depending on, their abilities and their age. But have the kids pitch in and help whenever they're able to, and whenever you can show them how to do things properly. That will help teach them time management and things like that throughout the day as well. Tip number 4 to help busy days and weeks run a little more smoothly would be to pick a day or 2 out of the week where you can specifically run your errands and get your errands done. So for me, that often ends up being Thursdays after co-op, because we don't come home and do any more schoolwork when we get home from co-op. So if I know I'm in town on Thursdays until lunchtime, so like until 12:30, then I will sometimes set a grocery order for on the way home from co-op or something like that. If we have prescriptions to pick up or have to run into a store, take a return back, then I will try to schedule that on the days that I know I will be out and about, so that I'm not forgetting about something and then needing to run out every day, or because that can break up your day too, and that can be hard to feel like you're accomplishing anything. I know, and again, this is just me speaking from experience, and things that have helped me along the way, but I know if I need to run out unexpectedly, it just kind of derails me, like completely throws me off. And again, I'm not saying that that's good, I'm just speaking from experience. But if I plan a specific day or 2 that I know I'm going to be in town for some other reason, like an appointment or co-op, then I will plan to run into my extra stores then, because it's hard getting all 3 of the kids buckled and unbuckled and in the store and standing in line and all those things. It just can get a little stressful. So I specifically set 1 or 2 times throughout the week to get those extra things done, and that's when I try to accomplish those extra errands on days where I know I will already be in town. And tip number 5, the last tip I have for you today, is to have your food planned and ready. I know for me personally, this is a pretty big one. I like to know that I have food, I have snacks stocked. That's a big stress point for me, is when I know that our groceries are low and our snacks are low. I'm not quite sure why, because we always have plenty of food. But if I have food planned, meals planned, and all of that out at the beginning of the week, just mentally helps me feel better about the day, about the week. And so I personally meal plan, and I know a lot of people don't prefer to meal plan, but for me, that has helped a lot. And so at the beginning of the week, I know what dinners I'm going to make. Lunch and breakfast are usually pretty simple. Breakfast will be like sausage links or toast or something like that. Lunch is typically leftovers of some sort or sandwiches. And so it's mainly just dinner that I meal plan for, and then always have snacks. And I know that if I have plenty of food, plenty of snacks that the kids can grab, such as applesauce pouches, cheese sticks, things like that, that they can easily go into the pantry and grab themselves for snack, that helps me with the day running smoother. And during the morning time, we typically only have one snack time. It's usually at like 10 o'clock, and then we do lunch around noon. So we also don't break often for snacks, but the kids can go and get a little snack. I'll have Easton help his younger sisters with snack if needed. But I know for me, having plenty of food, having pantry stocked is one other way that I just find that my days and my weeks run so much smoother. So those are my top 5 tips for today for helping your weeks and days run a little bit smoother. I hope that was helpful to someone. Again, no groundbreaking new ideas, but just some things that I put into practice and that help our family run a little more smoothly throughout the days and weeks. Not every day is perfect. Actually, no day is perfect. So yeah, but there's beauty in every day. So I love being home. I love being with my kids. I love taking care of the house and all of the things that come with that. I feel very blessed to be able to do it. So I hope that you were blessed and helped by something in this video. Please check out the playlist I've linked down below and say hello to Davine and Shauna. And we will talk very, very soon. Thanks for being here.